The Knicks, at some point in time, I believe it was a few years ago, had an opportunity to bring back a New York Knicks legend, a New York Knicks great, Carmelo Anthony. But Anthony recently, on his podcast, 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, recently revealed that even though the Knicks wanted to get him back on the team, he gave us some information on why he didn't want to join the New York Knicks. The Knicks offered Melo a contract to return to the Knicks, but as just mentioned, Melo turned it down. He did not want to return. Now, is that because Melo doesn't like the Knicks? Does Melo hate the Knicks? Does Melo think that the Knicks are a subpar team? No, not at all. In fact, he went on his podcast and he clarified the entire situation. Melo said the following about why he didn't join the Knicks when he was given the opportunity to join them back in 2022. According to Steph Bondy of the New York Post, he gave us the following information about this. Carmelo Anthony said he turned down his dream opportunity to retire as a Knick because playing time would have been sporadic and the offer felt half-hearted. The former franchise face revealed he and the Knicks powers that be discussed the potential reunion in summer 2022. Nevertheless, the pitch roll was like, today you might play, and the next 6 games you might not play. And then Melo said the following to that. I said, nah, I can't. The not knowing of when you're going to play and not play, I'd rather not go through that. I'm going to bow out gracefully. I just had a hell of a year in LA with the Lakers in my role. Basketball, that ain't the issue. I can't do that. There's a hell of a decline when I look at it overall, the overall big picture. The future Hall of Famer, who averaged 13.3 points in 26 minutes over 69 games with the Lakers, added that the Knicks, whose front office is led by Anthony's former agent, Leon Rose, were also lukewarm about their pitch. So it's not even that the Knicks wanted Anthony on the team. It was like they heard everybody saying that why not give Anthony a contract? You should give Anthony a contract. Let Carmelo retire a Knick. That's probably what they were hearing. And then after hearing all that, they probably said, okay, you know, Melo, if you want to join the Knicks, you can come here. You might play, likely not going to play, but we'll give you something. That's probably what happened. That's why Melo called the offer half-hearted or not really heartfelt, because he felt like they weren't doing it to get Melo and his skill set on this team. They were just doing it to appease everybody and save face around the league by getting Melo to retire a Knick. I can understand that from the Knicks' point of view, but honestly, you don't do that to Carmelo Anthony. I would have given him a legit contract, a legit role, and had him retire the right way, the way he should have as a Knick. Listen, I might catch a lot of heat for this. If I do, I honestly don't care. Carmelo Anthony was one of my favorite players on the Knicks. I remember the trade. I remember being hyped for the trade, even though I had a lot of questions. I was speculating what could be. I still had a lot of hope that the Knicks finally could get where I wanted them to get to. And Melo was a big reason for that. He brought back a lot of the emotions of feeling like a Knicks fan and riding for your team and not thinking you were going to lose, because during that time, that's what the Knicks were surrounded by. So Melo helped fix that right away. I'll never forget that. So if you're asking me, yeah, I would have given Melo a contract. I would have given him a spot and maybe see what he can do. And then let him retire the way it was supposed to happen, in the orange and blue. It was a chance that we're never going to get back. Melo doesn't want to come back now. He's officially retired. He's not going to do anything like that. And credit to him. I really do credit him doing that. Not breaking out of retirement, doing a one-off season and then retiring. I'm glad he didn't do that. I wouldn't want it that way. And I don't think he wants it that way either. But hearing that the Knicks did offer him a contract and he declined it just tells me what maybe a couple of other free agents that might have talked to the Knicks might have thought and said the same thing. If I'm not going to be guaranteed playing time, I don't want to be here. It's not going to do anything for me in my career or my legacy or my value. So why do it? Carmelo Anthony basically said that. And I think, when you're talking about guys like Omer Yurtseven or maybe some of these other free agents that the Knicks wanted to go after, they couldn't find common ground at times in order to get a contract done. And maybe that had to do with the same feelings Melo has here, with not knowing your role from day to day. One night you play 6 minutes, the next night, maybe the next 2 months, you play nothing. And maybe you don't play again unless an opportunity presents itself. So the reason I wanted to mention this Melo thing, not to bring up any bad feelings, is because number one, he was one of my favorite players ever for the Knicks. And the fact that he could have been a Knick, he could have retired a Knick, and we didn't get that done because it was half-hearted and it wasn't something that we fully committed on, really probably to save face. That really breaks my heart because that was something I really wanted. I really, really wanted that for Melo, for the Knicks, for New York fans. I think we all wanted it. So it would have been nice to see. But it was even more so just to hear what Melo said about why he turned it down. Because you're not going to get any real time. Why would free agents not want to join this Knicks squad, this championship squad? You're not going to get that much time. You're not going to play that much. And I think this speaks to a very large problem right now for the Knicks team. When you're this good, when you're this stacked, but admittedly, you still need to bring in talent. What do you do? How do you solve that? Because then you have to sell that talent that you have to bring in. What minutes is he going to play? And how many minutes is that? And if it's reducing each and every night based on impact. That's why it's going to be difficult moving forward for the Knicks to add more legitimate talent to this team, because you have to promise talent's role when they come to a team. And the Knicks are going to have a lot of hard time to be able to do that. But it's going to be interesting to see what New York does. I have a lot of faith in Leon Rose and this Knicks front office. And I know getting out of a jam, making this Knicks team better at each and every step, that's something that we can always count on this Knicks front office to do. They've done it time and time again, and they'll continue to do it. But Melo points out something very important, something we should take note of, highlight, and also brings up a memory that maybe some of us don't want to acknowledge, but we should. Melo could have retired a Knick, but he chose not to. And that was the worst news that I had got all week long. All week long. That was the worst news I got. One of my favorite players didn't get his dream to come true, and one of my dreams didn't come true because I didn't get to see it. So definitely heartbreak there, sour feelings, but a good point to take away from what Melo said. If you enjoyed these clips from the live show, be sure to subscribe to the channel and have notifications turned on so you don't miss any new episodes or when we go live. Thanks for watching, Knick fans, and until next time, peace.